functioning is going to have a huge impact on the body. By the time we kind of got into hospital, they performed as many things as they could. We were at Watford General. After Watford General, we went to Harefield, which is an incredible cardiac unit there, and some of the best consultants ever. So when we were there, and it became clear after time that they first tried everything they could. It was a good 7 days of them going through different processes. Some of you will be aware, but about slowing the body down and cooling the body down to give it time to try and concentrate on fixing the heart issues, etc. But as we kind of went through the process, more things became clear. He did suffer from a cardiac arrest, which was from a blood clot. As they restarted his heart, that blood clot traveled up to his brain, and blood clots in the brain ultimately end in some stroke. So he had a number of strokes across his brain. So bringing him back actually led to so much brain damage that he was unable to be able to kind of take that next step to come back. You know, looking back at it now, it's been six years, and especially when you're there in ICU and you see other people going through all the different things they go through, and one of the other families we saw there was a 34-year-old father who collapsed on the football pitch again with a cardiac arrest. And so I think I guess you see in those perspectives, I was 29, but my dad was 67, so he'd had a happy life so far, and I was just lucky to not be that 4-year-old who was there with their 32-year-old father. So that was perspective. But as the video showed you, me and my brother, we're kind of, we've been born here, and our parents have put us through the education system here. So I guess we were quite modern and understanding of English culture and the NHS and the medical system. So we knew about organ donation. Our kind of main interaction with organ donation had been with applying for our driving license. So we didn't know huge amounts about it, but we knew it was a good thing. And we were both organ donors. So when the conversation happened with the consultants to say that we wouldn't be able to get Dad back, that as we kind of mentioned it up front to our mum, which I think was probably helpful for the nurses, because we raised it ourselves, and we took a little bit of responsibility about it, trying to educate our mum and having that conversation with our mum. Again, my mum was in delirious state of mind. She didn't know what was going on, but she put her faith and responsibility in us. But that meant that we could engage with the organ donation nurses there. And that was an amazing opportunity for them to share their knowledge and to share the whole process, and alleviate all the questions that my mum had and that we had, which were valid questions. For example, some of the things that we've raised today about funerals and how is that going to work? Because in Hinduism, we would have an open casket funeral, so we'd be able to see the body at the beginning. So it's a big part of the grieving process, and not being able to see the body would be difficult. But of course, we found out the process is done extremely delicately and with huge amounts of respect to the body and faith and everything like that. So we didn't even notice, of course, at the end of the day. And in fact, he looked amazing and no different to what he would have looked like if it hadn't happened. But that information only all came through because we had that conversation. The nurses were fantastic in giving us the time, information, and really stepping it down bit by bit as to how it happens. It's crazy as a donor family of how fast it happens. I guess it has to. It needs to happen fast, right, for it to be effective and for those organs to be in a state to go to other people. But it really, the whole process and the whole experience that we went through as a family highlighted to us the power of the NHS and the power of each of these departments coming together for an amazing goal. So that was a beautiful thing to see, and years away, we can really appreciate that. And it also alleviates some of the other questions that are raised about, will they'll leave me to die before I die, or they won't give me the correct operations because they want my organs and that sort of stuff. We were now armed with this knowledge of, we know exactly what it's like. We can tell you exactly what it's been like. We can alleviate all of those information. And I was lucky enough to be approached by Kirit, who and have joined Kirit in trying to share that story with as many people as we can. And yeah, it's been tough. It's I think when some out of all the communities, maybe we've been able to slightly engage with our communities a bit more. Maybe we've got a lot of religious leaders which have kind of definitely, and faith leaders which have added their voice to it and given the information and videos and their clear understanding of the scriptures, etc., and how to alleviate that information. And I've always felt that my generation and the younger generation are the ones who are here living in this culture, in this country, and we are the best advocates to go and share that information with the generations above us, my mum's generation and our grandparents' generation, if they're still around. They're the ones that really need, they come down to being the key decision makers, because they're the ones that if their family member is lost, and like we said, even if they're on the donor list, the family can stop it from happening. So my mum needed to be the one to make that decision and agree with that decision, and we were the ones to educate her. And our generation, so education through the schooling system, or what we're doing with communities and the younger generations, I think is really helping, and does help drive that forward. But it's a consistent challenge. The data that you guys have shared today, funnily enough, since I started doing this work in 2020, has it changed dramatically? Probably not. Probably not in the way that we want it to, and that it should be. But days like today and work like all of you are doing, Winnie, Kira, and everyone here, is amazing and can only put us in the right direction. And I thank you for giving me the opportunity to support you guys, share the story, and do everything I can to help you on this journey ahead. Yeah.
Oh, thank you so much, Shivam. Your story has moved me. Your father must be so proud of both of you and your mother for making that decision. It couldn't have been easy. You've also answered a lot of questions that we get asked when we engage with communities. And really, we salute you for your generosity, for your bravery, your courage, and for actually giving up your time, precious time and effort, to share your story to actually help this cause. So thank you so much.
Thank you.
I think we now move on to lunch. Winnie will probably advise us on what time we have to come back. We've had such brilliant speakers. We've not had the heart to actually reduce time at all. So unfortunately, I think it's going to come at the expense of lunch. Winnie, what time do we reconvene?
Will 15 minutes do? I think 15 minutes. Can we catch some sandwiches or something in 15 minutes?
Yep. Thank you so
Yeah.
much. So
Let
if
me see
everyone could be
thumbs up
back.
from the audience, so I know they're happy with that. Good. Yeah. So if we can come back at 20 past, I think that will be great. And then we can go to the next session, which I believe will be is that Aninda that's next? I believe it's Aninda who will be coming next. So yeah, thank you so much, and see you in 15 minutes. Thank you.
Thank you.